Hi guys, how are you all today evening? Good evening. In this verse of Ashtavakra, Raja Janaka exalts salutations to myself because I am without a body, yet I am holding this universe without getting attached to it. Behold my miracle. I pervade everything in this universe and yet I am unattached. This has a very deep rooted meaning. First, when Raja Janaka says, Salutations to myself, salutations to myself, that does not mean that Raja Janaka is egoistic because false ego is part of somebody who identifies himself or herself with this mind body complex. Raja Janaka says, Salutations to myself. That is, he is identifying himself with the self at the substrata. We all know that the self at the substrata pervades the whole universe and is a mute witness of the happenings in the universe. Yet, this self from which the universe has sprung forth is unattached physically to the universe because it has no body. That means that whatever activity is happening in the universe or the universes that have sprung forth from the self are the doings of the living entities in the universe and not because of the self. The self only through Brahma created these universes and set them free. Every living entity in this universe has his or her own universe, and whatever activity this living entity does in his or her own universe is his or her own karma or destiny. This is duly recorded by the soul for future reference. We have already known that every living entity, when he or she is born, is given a slice of his or her destiny to work out in a particular birth. This is true with every living entity. The permutations and combination of every living entity plus other elements, ego, and other features make up the total universe. The self, which was the reason that this universe sprung forth, has nothing to do with the universe, the living entities, or its activities and their activities. This is what Raja Janaka says to Ashtavakra. Raja Janaka represents every living entity. We all have the right and the duty to consider ourselves as the real ego, the self. We are not the false mind body complex ego. We are just mute witnesses of the actions of this universe, of other living entities, and of our own. We are not responsible for them. Hence, the evils of lust, greed, anger, illusion, and false ego should not affect us. Similarly, similarly, the senses of the etheric body, the emotions and feelings of the mind, and the intelligence of the causal body must not affect us. We are only mute witnesses. We have come here as a servant of God. We should remember this. We should remember that we have come for an assignment. The moment we realize that we can work, we must complete our assignment as fast as possible and then leave this material world. That is the actual path or the key to success in spiritualism, self realization, deliverance, liberation, and ultimately recognizing our true self as Brahman and going back to Godhead. Please let me know what you think of my talk on this particular verse. If you sincerely believe that I am talking sense, kindly subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep reminding you of my future videos. Please pardon me for any error, spelling, grammar, diction, blunder, mistake, or appearance in this video because when I am talking to you on spiritual and material matters, I tend to ignore these frivolous things. Please feel free to interact with me and to discuss your priceless opinions, values, ideas, doubts, quizzes, etc. with me. We can all interact together and solve each other's problems, doubts, quizzes, etc. That is the minuscule service we all can do to mankind in general. Till we meet in my next video, it is good evening from TSV Raghavan.